Alright guys, welcome back everybody guys. A new Call of Duty video here on the channel. The unexpected just happened. Call of Duty themselves just dropped the roadmap for Season 3 and it's actually dropping a day early. That is crazy, which not for Warzone because it's going to be in like a downtime or something like that. So here we go. So I will link this article down below. So the Battle Royale map that started it all is back. Rebuilt from the ground up. Get all the details about Call of Duty Warzone original big map, including the return, features, and original gameplay modes, plus details on the huge launch event with 20 free rewards. Equip your Kilo 141 CR56, the AMAX HDR, and drop in on April 3rd at 9 a.m., one day after the launch of Black Ops 6 Season 3 on April 2nd. So it says, welcome home. We have the picture. I think, is this the prison area? Like the dome area? So the original Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale experience returns as Verdansk arrives for players to dive into the start of Season 3. This is a return to the game's intentional Battle Royale roots with back to the basics gameplay and authentic rebuilding of the big map, along with an impressive number of quality of life improvements. And here we go, guys. Here we go. We have the official roadmap for Season 3, which is crazy. So it looks like it's going to be Warzone. So I do kind of want to download this picture so I can actually zoom it in. So let's go ahead and download this real quick here, guys. And this is about to be crazy. So we're going to see the full picture here. So here we go. Here's a close look at what we're seeing here on the screen here. So it looks like we have the map, we have Verdansk, we have Gulag Showers, which after you die, you'll go into the Gulag, which is a 1v1 little arena area. And then if you win that gunfight, you will go back into the map. And if you die, you're officially over unless you get brought back by your teammates. We have Battle Royale, we have Rebirth Resurgence, Launch Window, we have Plunder, Battle Royale Casual, which is going to be new, Battle Royale Ranked Play, High Trip Resurgence LTM, and Season, Quality of Life, Squad Redeploy and Buy Stations, affected by unsuppressed weapons, live ping, detailed on death recap widget, inspect to view attachments, field upgrades and a squad widget, prioritize favorite loadout and gunsmith, whole loadout icon when buyable in the season. And on the right side here, it says gameplay updates, returning Battle Royale, 150 players, vehicle rebellions, returning, we have the heli, shooting range, shooting during free fall. The fact is, that's a returning feature where you can like redeploy in the sky and then shoot at the same time. The fact is that they had to bring that back to get this OG feeling is kind of funny to me. So we have supply run and recon contracts. We have vertical buy stations menu. We have the thermite, which I don't understand why that's even in there. We have events, return to Verdansk, more classic elements, circle pacing, cinematics, contracts, multiplayer, announcers, victory screen. Coming later this season, we have specialist perk pack, big game bounty, and more. It looks like some kind of train there, which is pretty cool. So that's everything in this blog. So not in the blog, but in that post. In this highly detailed blog, we break down the rebuilding process of Verdansk in a lengthy showcase of the game's features, the host of modes, events, rewards, and initial weapon details, as well as how to prepare for launch. Separate to the blog is the tour of Verdansk, a visual recon of the major points of interest, as well as smaller but still important locations you'll remember from your past drops. Okay, this is an hour video, so I am not watching that. I'll link that video below if you guys want to see that. So we have rebuilt from the ground up, just as you remember it. Content familiar, enhanced, and improved. Verdansk is rebuilt from the ground up. When Verdansk returns on April 3rd of 2025, players who dropped in 5 years previously on March 10th, 2020 should instantly recognize this as the original big map Call of Duty Warzone experience. This version of Verdansk has been rebuilt from the ground up. I don't know why they keep saying that, to give you the very best Battle Royale experience possible. That experience balances the immersion, adjusted movement mechanics, and the signature gameplay you just remember from the original Call of Duty Warzone, which overriding goal to relive the classic and nostalgic Verdansk map we all remember. So from exploring the rugged wilderness of the northern village's military base and quarry, to the first time landing to superstore or hospital, to surviving your first 1v1 prison gulag, as a great deal to work has gone into making Verdansk as exact, detailed, and authentic and updates as possible. In the most basic terms, this version of Verdansk is 95% a rebuilt version of Verdansk in 2020, with around 5% of the map landscape receiving light adjustments and quality of life improvements. Veteran players remembering back to Modern Warfare 2019 seasons should think of Verdansk in Season 3 as the map that dropped in March of 2020, with a few elements from that game's later season added, like the metro station entrances and a variety of other map changes scheduled across future seasons. A separate recon tour blog of Verdansk, famous points of interest, and the descriptions in the blog should be all the intel you need to know to understand how faithful this version of the map is. Familiar further enhanced and improved its the little things. The look and feel of Season 3 Verdansk falls into one of three categories. Familiar. The map is rebuilt from the same as the original map you remember. This is around 95% of the player space. Enhanced, just the same as Verdansk's map with beneficial adjustments. Approved new elements with an existing area based on the current game designed with quality of life upgrades in mind. We have multiple locations here, which is pretty nice. We have the water, we have the bridge, we have the little fire truck area. This is from 2020. I think it's just giving us a, so the colors are definitely remastered here, which is pretty huge in colors. All right, here's just all the pictures of all the locations here, which is returning to Verdansk. Obviously, they're just showing us the quality of the different locations of the map, which is pretty cool. So now that you've seen a variety of limited and extremely adjustments and quality of life improvements to the map, here's a general summary of what to expect across Season 3 Verdansk as a whole. Trees aren't precisely in the same exact position as they were in the original map. Any parked vehicle that aren't drivable now look more like smoldering wreckage, and ensuring players can easily distinguish immovable automobiles from the cargo truck, LTV, and other accessible vehicles. One of the biggest changes is the ability to swim, which wasn't originally possible. The southern combat zone has been extended out into the Castavan Sea, and the coastline is now accessible. However, this isn't just critical to gameplay. None of the rest of the map requires swimming. Some of the more unforgiving areas of steep and rocky terrain have been adjusted to that mantling and traversal maneuvering are easier, and goat trails are a little more prominent. Telephone and electrical poles have been slightly shortened in some locations to enable easier parachute landing. Other traversal points or areas that disadvantage some other players have been given minor adjustments, allowing routes to rooftops that have originally been accessible only by parachuting. This includes the additional of newly positioned ladders. Doors can be barged through, are usually doubled hinged. They swing open in both directions and can be shot or blown open or closed. While Ascenders weren't in the original Verdansk launch, they were originally added to Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2019 and aren't planned to arrive until later in the Season 3 and Battle Royale matches. These have been test fitted to numerous buildings to enable players to reach otherwise difficult to reach rooftops, and a preparation for them to return to the game. These aren't the original A from shape, but the newer L shape with concurrent mechanics, allowing for much faster traversal from the zip to the rooftop, available in Plunder at launch. They are scheduled to be vaulted to the rooftops and overhangs you remember from the original Verdansk. Read more in the features sections of this blog. The lighting of the exterior map, the draw distance at range, general visibility and haze of the map has been adjusted to enhance clarity and minimize glare. The lighting of interior has been adjusted to favor more immediate spotting of an enemy. Operators and the glare between existing and entering interiors has been reduced, or to put in another way, minimizing the advantage of hiding dark corners wearing a rose skin. Detail art passes a scenery enhancements have been added to areas that can be benefit from it, such as additional exterior details to the fire stations and extra distress along the riverbanks. This also extends to some new additional scattered records players can use as a cover. The HUD compass text font at the top of the screen indicating that the name of the location you're at has been updated to match the current graphical user interface. The user interface has been simplified as detailed later in the blog. Part 2 Season 3 Call of Duty Warzone. Verdansk is back to basics, featuring authentic back to basics gameplay with the latest and fan favorite mechanics. There's a wide variety of features returning to incoming to the game. Add the movement adjustments. Fine-tuning has been made to bring movement more in line with the players' experience in the early days of Call of Duty Warzone, like we never left. 150 players, the original announcer shooting during free fall, original infill cinematics all before you hit the ground running. Original game mechanics, original supply boxes, floating loot, armor, and buy stations and menus, coupled with current loadouts and perks with high value loot zones across the map where some premium loot resides. A retro refresh in-game loot and gets a retro refresh thermite and back with contracts and match public events, and field upgrades and kill streaks are back to basics. Verdansk in 2020 basics. Cargo truck, heli, and more. The return of the helicopter or foreground vehicles all rebalanced to ensure steering and handling keeps to the spirit of the original iteration of the game. All gas, no brakes. Circle collapse mechanics are just how you remember them from 5 years ago, with loadout drops at the second and fifth circle, so-called endgame. Dead zones have been minimized. Going up in the world, exterior extenders are coming to Verdansk, but later in the season in the Battle Royale mode, loads after the original March of 2020 gameplay mechanics are employed before Ascenders came to the game. Rooftops exploits, however, are mitigated. Verdansk opens up as a Season 3 progresses. Expect the first points of interest to open up. This is just the start of the minimap. This is just the start of the map adjustments can expect over the multiple seasons to come. Explore areas both topside and below ground. Drop onto a moving train and uncover blank and more at mid-season, which is pretty cool. Secrets of Verdansk. There are more revelations, Easter eggs, and hidden clues to Blank than ever before across Season 3 and beyond. So this is a complete overview. I'll get some screenshots here. With the arrival of the most important map in Call of Duty Warzone history, this has resulted in the return of many fan favorite features, and numerous back to the basics gameplay elements had harkened back to the very first iteration of the game, along with the latest and current fan favorite mechanics, all without sacrificing what made Verdansk so special in the first place. The introduction of Black Ops 6 Omniboom has been a major stepping stone for the game, establishing a new foundation for player movement. Initially, Call of Duty's Warzone adopted movement values directly from multiplayer and good intent, but adjustments are needed as better align with the unique demands of Call of Duty Warzone map and engagement styles. Season 3 serves as an opportunity to fine-tune players' movement by slightly scaling back some of the speed increases introduced over the past several months. These adjustments bring movement more in line with what players experienced in the early days of Call of Duty Warzone. Additionally, changes are being made to Omni Sprint speed scaling and slide friction to address the strength of strafe engagements while preserving the feel of sprint, strafe, reloading, and agile movement. 150 players Battle Royale returns to Verdansk with large-scale Battle Royale tested operator players counts to match the original experience. Those hot drops will never have felt hotter, and 30 additional revivals ensure you have targets to acquire all the way to the final circle. Original announcer radioing in front of the Joint Operation Base. The original announcer, sometimes known as the UK team leader with a similar accent to Captain Price, is back. So is the jointing for position before the drop of the original cargo plane over Verdansk. Shooting during freefall. On your way down from the infill or return to action after success in the Gulag, drop from a heli or airborne descent from a high building, you'll be able to switch between the gentle glide of a parachute to a freefall plummet, which is optimal if you want to clear the skies of enemies. Also dropping in, shooting during freefall is back. Draw your stirring weapon, the 9mm PM pistol, eliminate foes or cause some damage before facing them onto the ground. Infill and exfil schematics. Expect to step out of the bay of the giant cargo plane that looms off the clouds. For those operators skilling enough, expect the classic exfil helicopter to drop a rope from a final escape from the encroaching gas. Once all threats are neutralized, then you have to press F to pay respects to the defeat squads you dominated on your path to match to victory. So we have crates armor. So it looks like we have crates, we have loadouts, high value loot zones, which is coming mid-season. Original supply box colors. Once you are on the ground, it's time to loot. You're likely to hear that the familiar original hum of supply boxes before you see one. The crates themselves are the original ones from gray colored regular crates and more legendary orange crates, along with a special supply with crates with yellow markings that are accessed during scavenge contracts. Original floating loot as expected. Ground loot, whether found at a buy station, supply crates, or after inspecting a down foe, is color-coded based on rarity and known springs out of a crate in a variety of directions and floats a few inches off the ground just as it did originally. Current supply boxes. The darker blue supply boxes that are refilled as the match progresses are also available across Verdansk. The original armor satchels, first added during the Season 3 Reloaded of Modern Warfare 2019, is also back, enabling 8 armor plates to be carried instead of the normal 5 without the satchel. The armor satchel is found in supply crates or as ground loot. The original armor satchel takes the place of the current armor satchel. All the other satchel types, the ammo satchel, are removed, allowing for as close as an original Verdansk experience when possible. Expect the type of loot you'll find on the ground from falling enemies and in crates to the base of the selections of armaments you can choose from currently in Call of Duty Warzone. This includes weapons, primary pistol, melee weapons. We have tacticals, lethals, see below for the available field upgrades and kill streaks, which are based on those available originally. Current loot user interface. Each item you look at has the current GUI system applied to it, allowing for simple at a glance information and rarity value with attachments for rarer blueprints, weapons, current loadouts, and perks. Before before infill to Verdansk, you're able to create a multiple custom loadouts are normal to use in match with a full selection of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6 weapons and equipment. This includes weapons, primarily pistol, melee, and tacticals, lethals, 3 perks, and a wild card, which is pretty cool. So we have buy stations, which it's time to retrain your muscle memory and remember where all the Verdansk buy stations appeared, as these equipped hubs appear semi-randomly across Verdansk in the same place they spawned originally, near the comms tower just south of a TV station in the parking lot of Superstore. These are just 2 of the placements from the dozens of possible buy stations at locations. Expect a subset of the total buy stations placements to appear during each match. Interact with buy station and you'll discover it. Pretty much identical to the original inventory interface, even down to the vertical list of purchase with the equipment type under the name and icons added for a quicker visualization. The actual inventory you can purchase has also been scaled back to match the original Verdansk. The only balloons you can buy are plunder related. So basically we have, floating loot, we have field upgrades, munition boxes, heartbeat sensor, deployable cover, PDS, decontamination station, trophy system, loadout drops, markers, grenades, and crates, armor boxes, recon drones, kill streaks, UAV, advanced UAV, precision airstrike, cluster strike, bunker buster, equipment, flashbangs, smoke grenades, concussion grenades, decoy grenades, snapshot grenades, stim frag grenades, Semtex grenades, C4, spring mines, molotovs, and throwing knives. We have returning lethal, which is a thermite during launch. I don't know why that's even an announcement. Looks like we have equipment field upgrades launch mid-season. We have original armor box, deployable cover, heartbeat sensor. Yeah, we already talked about that. We have the ammo box, recon drone, trophy system, which is pretty nice. You see it in the picture there. We already know what all these do, so there's no point in reading that. We have contracts, which are launching mid-season. Original bounty, most wanted scavenger contracts launch. Yeah, so basically this is just contracts are basically explained by this is how you get money and stuff like that. So you go to a specific area, do something else, or you can have a bounty to eliminate someone to get more cash, to use that cash on kill streaks and more loadouts, which is pretty cool. So, which is really nice. So we have bounty, you can hunt down enemy players. We have most wanted, which people are going to track you down. We have scavenger. There's these special supply crates are indicated by a icon on your map. And once the first one is opened, the second one is marked, followed by the third one. And basically, once you complete it, you will get that cash for that, which is pretty easy and simple. So basically, all the old contracts are returning from classical Verdansk itself, which is self-explanatory. So, which is pretty cool. We have a fire sale. Expect major discounts at all buy stations for most items. We have jailbreak. All eliminated players immediately redeploy into the match. We have restock. All supply rates on the map close, and the loot is refreshed. Substantially increases the available loot. We have loadout drops. Additionally, during the second and fifth circle collapses, free loadout drops from the skies. And we have the gulag. This is where you go if you get taken out, and you get a second chance of fighting your life for the last place to win the game. We have new vehicles. We have the Hell, the cargo truck, the LTV, the Polarized RCR Pros R4 ATV Verdansk launch, which is nice. We have new vehicles, which is nice. Looks like we have a submarine, nice little vehicle over there. We have the helicopter. This is just going deep in detail. We don't need to really know about this. We have the cargo truck, obviously. We have the LTV, aka the light tactical vehicle. We have another vehicle coming here, the RZR Pro R4. We have the terrain vehicle, which is really nice for going into the muddy areas. The collapsing circle of the gas that suffocates the collapse of the in-game circle, which it closes, obviously. So basically, you will expect a lot of drops during the second and fifth circle of the circle collapsing, which they already talked about that. We also have map interactive elements, which was vertical ascenders, which if you're going into like a building, there's like this little extenders that will take you to the top of the building. So you don't have to walk up the stairs and basically waste time. So it's a shortcut to getting to the top of the building, which is very nice. It's pretty much in almost every building, which is nice. It's also inside of the buildings. So you could actually rotate between, get the high ground very quickly, other than going inside of the building and taking the stairs, which will take more time, which taking these ascenders would take less time, which is very, very cool. So we have original trade station, which this is just talking about all the locations returning on us, obviously. So we have quality of life updates. Looks like we have redeploy all. Looks like we have the detailed death recap widgets. We have the inspect to view attachments, which is very nice. We have field upgrades and a squad widget, so you can see what your team is running and what equipment they're using. And prioritize favorite loadouts and gunsmith. You can see your loadouts and what classes you have and perks. HUD loadouts icons when buyable, which is very nice. So we do have weapon inspect to view attachments when launched. So it seems like when you actually weapon inspect your weapon, you get to see the attachments on your weapon, which is very nice. This is just going deep in detail. Honestly, it's really nothing too serious here. Whether you picked up a weapon from the ground loot or fallen foe or a loadout drop, you can now immediately see a list of the attachments of the weapon it is equipped at any time by inspecting it during the inspect. So you can pretty much pick up a weapon, inspect it, and it tells you what attachments are on that weapon. It can be any weapon. It doesn't matter if you eliminate the other player. It could be your own weapon. It could be your friend's weapon. As long as it's an in-game weapon that you inspect, it will show you the attachments, which is pretty cool. We also have the TAC map zoom centering settings, which is, a basic thing that we always had. We have a detailed death recap widget, which tells you, I think it tells you how much damage you've taken from the enemy or how much the damage has hit you or you hit them, which is pretty cool. So we have the updated squad widget. We have the ping system, which is very nice. We have secret Easter eggs throughout the Verdansk, which is pretty nice. We have a current summary. This is just recapping what we already talked about previously. We have 150 players coming to Battle Royale Verdansk, which is 25-minute matches, which is very nice. Loot Upgrade Survival, the same rule set, map, buy station options, and host other features from March 2020, detailed earlier. This is the original Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale mode you remember. We have new Battle Royale Casual, which is 148 players and bots, 28 players, up to 120 bots. So you can use this to pretty much, get ready and get warmed up. We have Loot Upgrade Survival, but with new kind of opponents. We also have Resurgence returning, which is like a small map and just nothing but total chaos. We have Trios, Verdansk, 150 players, which is really nice. We have competitive plays, earn rewards, and show your skills. We have more modes mid-season, which is very nice. We have events returning also, which is very nice. We can earn free rewards. We can find hidden safes, discover one safe in each zone, and open up for exclusive rewards. We have special operator skins. Safes have a rare chance of rewarding an event exclusive operator skin. Will you be one of the lucky few? Which here is the rewards that we get. So instant unlocks, event rewards, instant and event rewards. We have, looks like we have a exclusive parachute, 2 operator skins. We have the kilo. We have the melee weapons, and we have a new special reward as skins and a dive trail, which is really cool to see that in Warzone. These are going to be your instant unlocks. We have primary weapon, assault rifles, kilo, operator, domino available in Call of Duty Warzone only, operator. And here is the event that we're talking about here. So basically you're going to have these specific challenges that you need to do, and you can unlock these special rewards inside of Verdansk, which is pretty awesome. Below are the 12 rewards only available per zone you can unlock during the return of Verdansk event. We have loading screens, emblems, calling cards, weapon decals, weapon charms, calling cards, finishing moves, sprays, emotes, tokens for like double XP, and stickers and calling cards, which is very nice. So we have the kilo returning, we have the AMAX returning, we have the HDR sniper returning, we have the new melee weapons returning. So we have Black Ops 6 multiplayer zombies battle pass, Black Cell, and general content becomes accessible to all premium players. Call of Duty Warzone completely shuts down for 24 hours. Simultaneously, a 24-hour multiplayer and zombies free trial, Common Sense, available to everyone, including all Season 3 premium content for those 2 game modes. These free trial unlocks at all allowing you to, okay, so looks like there's going to be a 24-hour shutdown, which you can still play Black Ops 6. And that looks like that might be everything in this blog post, because that was a lot of things in this and I wasn't not reading it. I was not going to read everything in this blog post. I was just highlighting the key moments of what was actually important, and they're pretty much rewording everything in a deep detail probably people actually don't really care about. So that has been it.